What's up, everybody? You're listening to Money in the Bank. I'm your host, Shontis, and today we're going to discuss the state of the Panthers receiving corps. And let's just go through a short breakdown of the two guys that this video will be centered around, and that's DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel. DJ Moore, drafted out of Maryland a couple years ago in the 2018 draft, now this past season had his first 1,000-yard year. Took great strides into becoming a number one guy. Curtis Samuel, just now going into his fourth year, he's struggled with injuries for the majority of so far in the short part of his career, and he's making progress, but still not where everybody believes he should be at this point in time in his career. Now, me personally, I believe Curtis Samuel's mishaps and pitfalls have been because of quarterback play. One being that we had to run with Kyle Allen for the majority of last season. I think that hurt him. I think that's not who he will be playing with, and that's not a guy that can get him the football. That's not a guy that can take advantage of his skill set and how dynamic he is at that position and just as an athlete overall. DJ Moore, he took the jump that we needed. He's showing us that he was the replacement for Steve Smith that we haven't had since Steve Smith has been gone. So I'm happy with those two. But I'm going to introduce an idea that has been brought up sometimes, and it's been hinted at. It's been hinted at, but hasn't really been spoken upon in great detail. Do the Panthers still need another wide receiver target? And I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to say they need a number one, but not in the same aspect that you made, not in the way that you think I'm saying that. So, what I mean by they need a number one, I simply mean they need somebody to play the X. Play that number one receiver role within the offense. Now, do I think whoever they bring in will be the number one receiver, meaning the number one option, meaning leader in stats and all that out of that receiver room? No, I think DJ Moore is going to continuously lead Carolina in receiving yards, touchdowns, all that for years to come. I simply need him moved over into the slot. That's mainly what I need. In the role, if you paid attention a couple years ago, to the 2018 season, DJ Moore's rookie year, and I look at Jarius Wright. I was a fan of Jarius Wright. That year, I was a fan of Jarius Wright. He was good for us in that spot. Now, here's what I would love even more. If you go get, let's say, for example, a Robbie Anderson from New York. He's a guy that's going to be available. If you go get him, now you move him to the X position. You now move DJ Moore to the slot. Curtis Samuel now becomes that number 3. If he's in that role where he's getting matched up with linebackers and safeties, and I think you have something there. I think you have the dynamic offense that we all think we can have with this young receiving core, and with the talent that he has, I think that's what's gonna push them over the edge. I think Anderson's a legit option for Carolina because of his ties to Matt Rule and his days in Temple. I think that's real. Those are real things that we could possibly see. At one point I would have thought PJ Walker for the Houston Roughnecks in the XFL would have been an option for Carolina as a backup, but seeing that they re-signed Kyle Allen to a 1-year extension, that seems like it's out the window. But I think adding a guy like Anderson and shifting Moore and Samuel over a spot, and looking at how dynamic those two guys are and how they play, and that kind of college style offense that they come from, and that they're still college style receivers. They're not true NFL receivers just yet. I think with Joe Brady coming straight out of the college game, it would be perfect. It would mesh to me so well. It would make so much sense. But obviously I don't make the calls here. But I think that would be a way to take this offense to the next level. But with that being said, there's not much for me to talk about in this video today. We'll keep this thing brief. I hope you guys are enjoying the Panthers Brawl podcast. Also, be absolutely sure to go check out the Brawl Network website, the brawlnetwork.com. Hey, baby, we have merchandise. We got more merchandise. I mean, here's the thing. If y'all buy this merchandise, I get paid. So keep that in mind. But you guys, it's been great talking to you guys. I'm glad to be back on Money in the Bank. It's your boy Shontis Stewart, and I'm out.